of Dance, every Saturday with Paula and Ricardo from ALC Dance Studios, 1157, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Hello everybody, welcome to one more The Leather of Dance. Today we are here crazy, like preparing everything to be able to be live at the same time on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, just making sure that everything is like perfect. So as you are getting in, welcome to this The Leather of Dance. Let us know if you can hear us good. Give us this help, this support to know if all the equipment is moving good. Grande Veríssimo, como é que estamos?
Beijinhos, Veríssimo, bom dia.
To make sure that everything is perfect here to you, the audio, the image, and meanwhile also please share this live with some friends. Today the topic will be about Kizomba Basics. So we have some questions to answer, and also we will be able to answer your questions as you write down here on the comments. So welcome everybody.
Welcome.
Veríssimo, como é que se ouve? O áudio está fixe?
Está bom?
Ouve-se bem? Tell us please how is the audio. As you are getting in, also click the small button below to share with a friend. The subject will be around Kizomba Basics. So hope you can enjoy what we have to share with you. Obrigado, Veríssimo. We are hoping that you can also do your questions. And I'm here just doing some sharings in some private groups on Facebook.
Me also.
In a way that we can reach everybody and we can deliver the most amount of content that we can in a period that we will be here with you. So just the last group from Facebook, the KTT Intensive Week group. And I think that now it is everything okay and we can focus completely here. Saying hello to everybody, my dear mother, she's amazing, like usual. Make sure that you do these sharings. Olá, Brunex, tudo bem? Good. So let me see if there is, okay, good. There is this question here. So The Leather of Dance, first of all, a quick explanation. We are not appearing here for some weeks. It's a kind of metaphor that we use to define where is the top of the leather in a way that we can after know which will be the steps that we need to do, okay? So we consider in our life that we have three types of leathers. We have the leather of I, that is our self-growing, our self-improvement, and it's dedicated to ourselves. The leather of, so the leather of I, the leather of
the family?
The others, so the family, friends, and also the professional leather. And in this case, the professional leather, bon dia, Mary Jane. The professional leather is dedicated to the dance. And we consider that it's very important to define where is the top of our leather in a way that we can know after what will be the steps that we need to do. A lot of people freeze and get kind of in a procrastination mode because when they look up, it seems like it's very far away and difficult to get, and they forget to look down and to look to the first step. So we think that we should dream big and start small. So, and big, the understanding of big will be very subjective. Because what is big for me can be small for you or vice versa. And it's important that you define what is a big dream for you. Don't block yourself. And that way, after, you can do the backwards engineering process. And in the meantime, you can have different leathers that you need to take different directions to be able to get to the place that you want. Ciao Maria, come stai? Tutto bene?
Ciao.
So, we can have different topics to talk about in this kind of podcast. And today, we decided to dedicate to, let me see if I can find this. I'm kind of new on this. To dedicate to, let me see, here is in branding. Yeah, I'm not finding. There is Kizomba Basics. Ta-da, cha-cha. So today the topic is Kizomba Basics. We teach a free lesson last Wednesday, and some questions start appearing. And we also open for questions on our Instagram stories in a way that people can ask their questions. So we have here 1 or 2 questions to answer, but also make sure that you ask yours. If you are on Facebook and Instagram, or Facebook or YouTube, you can write on the comments that you'll receive here your comments. If you are on Instagram also, but you have also a small box with a question mark where you can ask your questions. And I will open here for the first question, that it was Albor. He asked, how can we practice contratempo, lead and follow? Okay, so the question from Albor's SMD at Instagram was, how can we practice contratempo, lead and follow? So first of all, let's clarify what is contratempo, because you might be here for the first time and you don't know properly what we are talking about. In Kizomba, in the ALC methodology, we call the contratempo turn to what some teachers call it retrocesso, okay? And basically, it's using a shuffle, a faster step in the same amount of tempo. So if you have tempo, 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 the contratempo will be the beat between the 2 tempo.
In the middle.
Completely in the middle. So if you are stepping 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the so-called end. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So this will be the contratempo. Grande Bonfim, tudo bem?
Então, Rui.
And contratempo is used in Kizomba dancing in couple in our perspective, for 2 main reasons. First, to be able to do bigger turns in a smoother way, okay? Because if you are just walking all the time, the dislocation will not become so smoother. And using the contratempo in a turn will allow you in a more fluid way to do this change of direction. Second, will allow you also to use musicality. When you are following certain instruments, certain melodies, or including the voice, using the contratempo will allow you to be more musical while you are dancing. Good? Back in the days, like when we start teaching Kizomba, back to, I don't know, maybe 2001, 2002, we were trying to discover ways to make it easier for the students to understand this kind of vocabulary, mainly when you are dancing for the first time with someone. So our first approach was to try to give them a visual understanding in a way that after they could do only an intention of that movement. And it was like doing a breathing. So in the moment of the cha-cha-cha, the contratempo, the leading would be some kind of suspension to allow the follower to understand that they should create the faster tempo walking. But with the time, although we were telling the students, attention, that is just an intention, it's not to be something visual, the students tend to do it more visually. So we were trying to find different ways. And I think the best way is to show you how we do it instead of being just talking. Do you agree? Let us know if you want to see it instead of just to listen it.
Ciao, okay. María Castaldi. Sí, a ver si 2022.
Sí, that fish will happen. So, showing you. First of all, let's see if we can fit. Yes, the most important on Facebook and YouTube, you don't see our feet, but the most important is the torso. Okay, so when we do a basic 3, and then we do the turn, here we are applying the contratempo, the cha-cha-cha. Now, the fundamentals to be able to lead this is that the follower will follow the leader's torso. So if I open to the side, and I get together, and I open again, and I get together, only by looking to my chest, even without contact, Paula is opening and moving her feet to a position that she will be able to keep in front of me.
Looking to the chest, not to the feet.
If the leader uses the arm on the side of the follower arm, and even if the follower closes the eyes, what will happen if I keep this block? When I move, Paula will feel a pressure, and that pressure, she will answer in the direction of the pressure, but she will not lose the contact of that pressure. So first, wrong mistake. The leader go and the follower stay, like being stubborn, okay? Not answering the foot. Second, wrong mistake. The follower feel the pressure, she move, but she disconnect. Okay, you see, we lost here the connection. So the good way of doing it is that she will walk the enough to don't be heavy like a truck, but she will keep connected to my arm, okay? So this is the basic principle to do the contratempo. So far, so good?
Yes, I was saying that we are exaggerating for you to see better, because this can happen in a very small move, very small intention. We as a followers disconnect, or we as a followers being stubborn. That's why even the leaders need to be assertive in their leading. It's not aggressive, but assertive in their leading in a way that the follower understand properly the leading that you are doing. Yeah, I was saying something else, but I forgot.
I'm laughing because of my socks. Do you like the socks? Like a cactus with sunglasses. Good. So picking up the same principle.
Oh, sorry, I remember already.
No, not yet.
Yeah. We as the followers need to answer a little bit after the leader, because the leader leads us and we need to wait. As we need to wait, our movement is a millisecond after the movement of the leader, without being a truck, but also without being too earlier in the understanding of the leading. Yeah?
Good. So, hello, Albert. The one that made the question is already here.
Yay.
So we start already the explanation. If you didn't grab it, don't worry. The live will stay recorded and you can listen after from the beginning. So picking up this principle and taking consideration that the follower will answer with the feet to everything she feels in the upper body. If I do this side movement, and if I increase my movement, my own movement, keeping the pressure, the only way that Paula have to keep her balance is also to increase the velocity of her feet. Just moving a little bit back here to watch better. So normal tempo, and then increasing the velocity. It's important that the followers understand that they cannot cross, because the leading, it's in a constant line to the side. Doesn't make sense that they open and after they will cross back or forward, okay? Because there is no leading up here. If you want to cross, we will turn the torso to be able to lead that movement, okay? So constant pressure, when we are in a couple position, in the zero position, as the leaders have a side contact and a back contact, when we start doing the contratempo, doing a side pressure, keeping the partner in front of us will be enough to do the leading, to be able to do the contratempo. And after, it will be a question of amplitude. The follower need to focus on
the chest and on the arm, the connection of the arm, the pressure of the arm, and also need to answer with the feet as faster as we can, keeping our own balance without taking the balance of the leader.
This is like a fundamental rule for the followers. Every time you walk, you need to walk to a position that you are in your individual balance. You cannot hang on your partner body. Unless, of course, there are some exceptions. If I do like a drop, this is a different thing, okay? She depends on my body to be able to be balanced. If I lose the contact, she will fall, okay?
Even though we can have the insurance that we are not going to be heavy without, we cannot melt. In this case, I was putting my hip more like here. In this way, I can be lighter and you don't need to have the whole weight of myself instead of being like this. And even though usually I say, if you imagine in this case, if
don't go away from the
focus. In this,
we can explain this properly in another lesson.
Just this. Don't let yourself melt like losing your posture. Keep your upper body and your weight up without being
Good,
heavy.
but going in directly to the point and to the focus about the question on contratempo. Searching your individual balance. If the followers don't increase the velocity of the feet while the pressure is bigger, they will lose the balance. They will lose their individual balance. So for us, the way that we teach, start with this progression. Doing a side contact, followers searching the face-to-face position, okay? And keeping the follower in front of us, very important that the leader don't open the left shoulder, triangle technique, okay? 2 points, 1 point outside, keep the intention to the center, and when you do the turn, leaders, don't open the left shoulder to the direction that you are turning. Keep the intention in and turn in a block. So like this, we keep the frame, and the follower will be able to be comfortable in front of us, and the rotation will be smoother and the leading more assertive.
Exactly the same for the follower. We need to keep our triangle or keep our 6 eyes that I usually say 6 eyes, 2, 4, 6, looking or with intention to the leader.
Meanwhile, Albert, if you are still there, let us know if it was clear for you, if it was helpful. And meanwhile, ask your questions, okay? Use this moment now that we are here for you. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you have the opportunity to ask your questions, mainly directed to Kizomba Basics. But if you want to go in another direction, it's also possible. But today we are here to answer about Kizomba Basics, okay? A comment, while you are thinking about your questions, we will keep talking and give you more content, okay? Don't forget, if you like it, you have a small heart there on Instagram, on Facebook also. Give us your love as an exchange of the knowledge that we are sharing with you, okay? This is like a two-direction trade. And the best way that you can have to help us is to hearts, sharings, and comments, okay?
The hearts, that small heart that I'm doing here. Oh,
because the
algorithm
of Instagram will share with more people if there are more people also saying that they like, okay? Because if you like, it means that it might be more people that will like. So about the basics, a lot of times appear the question of what are the Kizomba basics? We need to understand before, thank you, Lina, before we move on, that there is no 100% correct answer, okay? Kizomba, salsa, bachata, tango, we are all talking about popular dances. Dances that didn't born on a dance studio. They didn't born in a school system. They appear in the middle of the people, okay? It makes part of communities. And inside of the same city, you have different streets, and inside of each street, you have different houses. So the city will get together. Feliz Páscoa, Mary. The city will get together more or less the same habits, but inside of each street, you will have specific habits, and inside of each house, you will have even more specific habits. Okay, so this kind of division will allow you also to understand, for social dances, popular dances, you will find a lot of different variations to the same thing. And it's something that is beautiful because it gives you a lot of freedom, but at the same time can be very complicated for someone that is entering for the first time in this community, because you get lost. You go to a festival, you enter different rooms, and for the same subject, for the same topic, you will listen instructors sometimes saying things completely
different,
controversial, like contradictories. Now you need to learn also how to filter, okay? Because like in all professions in the world, you will find people that know what they are telling, although they can have different techniques and different approach, and it's correct. And you will find people that are bad professionals, and they don't know what they are saying. They are just inventing, okay? So it's important to, with the time, to be able to filter the content that you are exposing yourself. Of course, we will not say names, but there are people in our community that are amazing instructors. They really know what they are doing, and they have different approach of what we have. And there are others that they have different approach, but they are wrong. Okay, so you will find good things, bad things, and awful things, and amazing things. And some things, they can be done in different ways, and they are all correct. For our perspective, as far, for example, in leading and following, as far as you can communicate with someone without using words, without hurting the person, being able to communicate two bodies, and one body can do a question and the other body can do the answer, that is correct for us. Even if it is a different technique and a different approach that we use in the ALC methodology, okay? And when we go to movement, to style, even more, because it will be more difficult. It can be even more difficult to create the sense of what is correct and what is incorrect, because you start entering in a taste zone. So it's a question of tastes. And then you can say, I'm not used to that, but you cannot say that that is wrong, okay? And the best example, and maybe I can be here a little bit controversial, let's talk about Angola. Angolan dancers, because Kizomba is born in Angola, it comes from there. Inside of Angolan dancers, you will find different trends. Even each individual dancer will have evolutions. So the big master, Pechu, the way he danced today is different from the way that he danced 10 years ago, and 20 years ago, and 30 years ago. This is called evolution, maturity of movement. Perfect. But you will find trends that have influences. And sometimes when we are the owners of the culture, we are allowed to create different stuff. But when you have people that are outside of the culture, they are start seeing looked as appropriators, and they are not allowed and not seen with good eyes to do something different. I know that I can be controversial here, but this is my personal opinion, okay? You will see Angolans doing neck drops and the sliding that is very common from salsa. The son, you know, this kind, the movement that you see very often on samba, that the leader hold the follower's hand and they lay down and just having the foot on the floor pivoting. This was not an Angolan invention, but you see this very often in samba. This comes from son cubano. So as it were the Angolans, and sorry, I love Angola, I love Angolans, I think they are very creative, but we need also to open our minds. If it is from the land, it's possible. If it is out of the land, it's not possible. And this needs to change also. We need to understand where the things comes from, perfect. We need to give the proper value, the proper respect, but also we need to open the hands to allow the things to take their life, without forgetting the roots and the foundation. It's like raising a child. There will be a moment that the child needs to go out of home, get married, get kids, pay their own bills, get their job, but the child will not forget who are their parents, okay? And this, sometimes this kind of bridges, it's important to bring to the subject to the point and touch the feridas,
the hurts.
Touch the hurts with conscience, with responsibility, and with respect, because
the bruises.
We cannot be connected to egos. And most of the times it's nothing more than insecurity. And I think the word is well spreaded nowadays. 20 years ago, it was difficult to find good content. Nowadays, you are here listening to us, and we are sharing material, giving the proper respect and the proper value from where the things come from. But it suffered a lot of evolutions. So regarding the basics, and this was the beginning of this dissertation, for us, we use 3 basics, okay? ALC methodology, Paulo and Ricardo methodology, the way we teach our students, the way we teach our teachers to teach their students, the way we share in our KTT program, the Kizomba Teachers Training Program, where we share our structure of teaching for you to be able to teach any part of the world and use this methodology or adapt to your own methodology. This is a result of more than 20 years of research, trying with the students, not by supposition. We Think about possibilities, we test in our bodies, and then we test with our students. And after we get the results, and after the results, we will do changes. And after the changes, we will do again testing. So this is a long process. And this is a big advantage of attending a KTT program, because you will have everything showing already, okay? A lot of tests that happen that can take you time to, or make you win time in a way that you can immediately test something that is proven that it works. But even though you will need to test with your students.
And the basics are?
Yes, we use the 3 basics. Basic 1, or cavalinho, basic 2, or side basic, and basic 3. And from these 3 basics, but some people ask, and Saida is not a basic? Our perspective, no, it's not a basic. Saida, it's already something that you will be able to do using the basics.
And it's quite challenging to lead Saida.
You will walk, you will touch, you will shift direction, and you will need to place also the body in different positions.
Yeah.
Okay, so for us, basics are the elements you need to create all other combinations. Yeah. Okay, so these for us are the basics. Basic 1, basic 2, basic 3. Cavalinho, side basic, and basic 3. And for example, you can do a basic 5, but you will have the same concept of a basic 3. Basic 5 would be, instead of doing walk, walk, touch, you will do walk, 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 touch. You can do cavalinho in slow tempo, but this is a variation of cavalinho. You are changing the tempo of something that is the basic. Even the basic 3, you can change the tempo. You can start slow tempo, walk and touch. And instead of using 3 counts, you will use 4 counts. But these are variations from the basics. Okay, so for us, 3 basic steps. Cavalinho, basic 1, side basic, basic 2, and basic 3. Okay, make sense? Any question? Make sure that you ask your questions while you are listening. We have here a question from Dams. Because of these different trends, oh, I forgot to take here
the question.
The question.
I was saying to you, but I didn't want to interrupt.
So I'm still not like fast to do this. So it's the banners. I need to tick is Kizomba Basics. Yeah, we have here. Edita, big kiss. So the question, because of these different trends, do you recommend to learn from the start with several teachers? Here the question from Dams. Do you want to answer or want me to answer?
From the start with the several teacher. Maybe when it depends. If the students start without practice nothing, knowing nothing about dance, I don't advise to put with or to learn with several teachers, because it will be confusing to him. If he's not used to dance, he don't know his body, he don't know where to put his weight, he don't know nothing of this, then he need to learn the basic thing. Then in this case, I don't advise to learn the student that don't know nothing at all of dance and is not used to learn from several, because he will get confused. First, in this case, from one person. Then, if the student is already an experienced person with dance, is already came, imagine, from salsa, from bachata, whatever, and sometimes with hip hop and something. In this case, even in this case, I don't advise to pick up several different styles, but several different teachers from the same kind of dance, in my point of view, he can learn a lot, because we have different characteristics. We imagine from Kizomba, because in our point of view and in my point of view, Kizomba is the basic, is the foundation, is where you learn where you have your weight and how to move. And even in experienced students or experienced dancers, maybe in the beginning for one kind of, or from one kind of dance in this case, you can learn a lot, or else it will be confusing. Imagine a student, even an experienced student, that he start learn learning with Kizomba, with urban keys, and with fusion, if his experience, he need to understand that that are different places, and he cannot mix with conscience. Yes, only he can mix the opposite. He can mix with conscience because he need to know the difference. I can tell you because when we went to a country, I think it was in China, it was a mess because the students learned from different kinds of styles and they were mixing everything. If you are seeing them dancing without listening the kind of music that they are doing, you will get confused because they were doing movements from Lambazouk, they were doing in Kizomba. From urban keys, from sensual bachata that comes from is influenced from Brazilian zouk. Then it was a mess. I was if I was not listening the music, I was, what kind of music they are dancing? And this is a mess. Then you need to know, even if you are experienced a dancer, what are you dancing? And make sure that you are learning the proper dance with the proper teacher. It's only because of this, the mess of information that you are seeing. This is my opinion. I don't know Ricardo's opinion.
Of course, this will change from person to person. There are people, and you can bring that knowledge by the way that you learn anything, including in school. Okay? So there are people that need to focus just in one thing and they cannot do nothing else. There are other people, they are okay with different kinds of learnings. But when you go to school, you have different disciplines and you will learn all of them at the same time, but they are not different disciplines about the same thing. They are completely different disciplines. We advise our students here in our school when they start couple dances to start at the same time Kizomba and salsa with 2 different hours, but it's 2 completely different movements and 2 completely different dances. Yeah. Okay, 2 different disciplines. So they have 1 hour of Kizomba and the second hour of salsa, and they need to learn how to do the switch. At the beginning, some of them can be more complicated, but faster, they will start learning the difference, and it's 1 more hour of training. So in that perspective, if you are a fast learner, it's okay that you go to a lesson of Kizomba, a lesson of urban keys, and a lesson of fusion. And you have 3 hours of training during the week, much better than just 1 hour of Kizomba. But for example, you can also try to do 3 hours of Kizomba in the same week. Yeah. So that way you will be faster to learn the technique of one style. I give you my example as salsa dancer. I started learning Cuban. After Cuban, I learned LA on 1. And then I learned on 2, New York style. Nowadays, I'm the result of the 3. But I was able to master more the movement of each of one individually without doing it at the same time everything. Because to be able to do fusion in our perspective, we need to master as much as we can what we want to fuse in a way that it makes sense. If you just do everything at the same time, instead of fusion, will be a confusion, like Paulo was saying, okay? So I think that it's better to learn properly one of the things to be able after to learn other disciplines and other techniques, and in a way to connect them after, generally speaking, because of course you will always have exceptions. It depends on how is your personality of learning, okay? For me, at least now, I'm trained to have like different compartments in my brain, and I switch immediately from one style to another. In the same day, I can do a ballet lesson, a hip-hop lesson, Afro lesson, Kizomba lesson, salsa lesson, cha-cha-cha lesson, bachata lesson. I can attend as a student, and as I'm a trained dancer, I switch easily. If I would be starting now, I don't know. Maybe it will be a good thing. Depending, again. Usually kids, when you start learning as a kid, it's okay that you learn everything at the same time, because kids will work as sponge. When you reach a certain age, maybe you need to start doing priorities of learning and placing it as a layer. Okay, make sense? So there is not a magical answer to this, because it will depend on the person. Some people, good to start everything at the same time. Most of the people, it is better to go by layers. Improve Kizomba, then learn other styles, and then you can combine what you are doing. Nice?
Or else it will be, imagine, do you already saw a ballerina from ballet or a hip-hop dancer doing a basic on salsa? It's like strange, yes, because they are more used to the hip-hop or to the ballet. They stretch too much their legs. It's just like that.
So we have here Bruno Souza. I don't know from where he's from. Thank you very much, Bruno, for your participation. I think he's an amazing dancer, also an amazing teacher, and you have a very handsome brother. I don't know. I heard about that. So he's asking, how can I create a better frame when I dance Kizomba in a way that it gets more beautiful? Half ladies understand me. Oh my God, the question is not complete. Half ladies, all ladies understand me better. I think it's not half, it will be all ladies, more beautiful, and ladies, and must be and, in a way that it gets more beautiful and ladies understand me better.
Okay.
Okay, so frame will be like the foundation of communication. It's like when you
Yes.
when you learn a language, you need grammar. Okay, so frame will be like grammar to a language. If you are not in a frame position, you will not communicate. It's like I will speak to you in French and you just understand English. So there is no
Connection.
The framing will be our way to say, hello, how are you? And the other person receive that information and answer, I'm good, and you. So we will be all the time like doing this. So for me personally, Kizomba, it's beautiful because of that, but very difficult also because of that. By the constant contradictions that you have. You need to be in a frame, but you cannot be tense. For example, in ballroom, your frame is more up here. Okay, in Kizomba, it's more relaxed, but you still have a frame. It's this intention of breathing in, and then in this same position, you will exhale to adapt, to mold, but without losing the posture, okay? This is a good tip, you can write down in your brain, to give 360 degrees presence. By the distance from your chest or by the contact of your chest, a side contact with the right, a hand contact on the back, and with this hand that we have in contact, we need to close the frame using the triangle technique. Okay, triangle technique. So right shoulder, left shoulder, 2 points with energy in, once again, without blocking. This is not the idea, it's to keep center, but your intention is in. So instead of having your left arm like loose, you keep it in the center and you close the frame. Like a painting, if you don't place a painting in the frame and you put it on the wall, with the time it will lose the
figure, the
form.
picture.
It will lose the form of the painting. It will get like more to one side and one side, like that. Okay. So hello, Evgeny. For us, framing is like amazing, and you can have different ways to practice. For example, to start using arms contact. Okay, so this is a frame also, not a frame that we use in Kizomba, but you can practice this kind of framing and training how to leave the torso to be able to answer with the feet, finding the pressure that you will find one side and another. You can train frame without contact, being in front of each other and trying to leave by the intention of your frame. If you are able to lead by the intention of your frame, when you have the 360 degrees contact, it will be much more understandable. Okay? So I think these are good tips for you. I hope it helped you, Bruno.
Jens is saying here something that I don't know if I understood properly.
I think also important is what you also doing during the day.
It was, I think, because of the question of the other question. Because it appeared when we were answering the other question of this.
If we should start that with several teachers.
Yeah.
Also, related to that question, if you can afford it, of course, it's good to listen different things.
Yeah.
As far as you can filter what you are doing. Because sometimes, at least for me, having bad examples doesn't help me. I need first to understand what is good.
Yeah.
I need first to understand what is good, and then it's important for me to understand what is bad, to be able to do a comparison and to improve what is bad, what is good. Yeah. And the question was? It was more like a sharing.
Yeah.
I think
but I
also
don't...
important is what you also do during the day.
But in case of dance, Jens, you are speaking about dance, Jens, or yes, it's Jens. In what we do during the day about the dance, or what we do eating and everything. I don't know, just to try to understand what you are saying. I can say to you, I have an example when I start with aerobics. That my master, I was learning all the time and doing lessons with my master and learning all from him. But then it was a time that he told me, go to do lessons of other teachers, because you, and in this case, because I want to teach and I was already learning to teach. And he told me and advised me wisely, because I say thank you every day for him to say that to me, because I need to absorb more things from other teachers, because they have other personalities, they have other and different ways of doing the same thing. And it was quite nice, even with the different disciplines. Us as dancers also, we can learn a lot with other kinds of dances, like Ricardo already told, ballet, hip-hop, and everything that we can do, different from our dances, but it's just, it's like nutrition for our body and mind, and we can see also how others do the things and how they teach for us to improve even more.
When I work 8 hours before, it is harder to do many lessons after that.
Oh, okay. Of course.
In the moment, as a learner,
yeah,
it will depend how was your day to be able to have focus and capacity to learn more.
Of course.
Yes, that is important also.
Makes sense.
Yes, it's true. So we have one more question here for another special person. Paula Loredo.
I forgot that the name was there.
How can we motivate our students to do the basics? Do you want to answer to Paula? So no. Paula is asking, how can we motivate our students to do the basics?
Because this can be for sure a question from many people, and there are people that ask this to us. And I forgot that my name was appearing there. It was like, I'm doing like, let's see, I put this question, if it's like somebody is doing this question and appear my name. Shit, sorry. And because I think it's a very important question.
Olá, Filipe, desculpa lá. Fênix, quantos Instagrams é que tu tens, homem?
Pois é,
Minha Nossa Senhora, desculpa.
Because usually people think that can be boring, and you can be very boring with basics or advanced steps. It doesn't matter what you are teaching. What matters is the way that you teach that steps. And you have several ways or several things that you can use to keep your students motivated. You need to keep Hola, Claudia. You can keep your students motivated with your energy, with your voice, with the tone of your voice changing, with the musics that you put, with the amount of time that you use to give explanations and music. You have several things that you can do it. Even if you are doing all the time the same thing, it depends also of the students that you have in front. Sometimes I'm getting bored and then of the lesson, and I need to be like this, and the students are not. And I'm trying to do, because I think, oh, they are getting bored, and I need to give
mirroring. It's difficult to say. She's mirroring her feelings.
And I forget what I'm saying because you are interrupting me. Because
I'm not interrupting, I'm adding on.
I forgot what I was saying. Thank you. Now you can speak. I forgot.
You were saying that you are getting bored and you think that the students are getting bored, and in fact they are not.
And I'm faster, thank you very much. And I'm faster passing the sequence, and they don't want, they get like, oh my gosh, I didn't catch the sequence. And you need to go step by step. You need to know how to read your students, and using all these tips to motivate them with basics. And even a basic can be boring if you do the basic step on 3 all the time, back and forward. You can do the basic step on 3 in several different directions. With you never. Obrigada, Leonor. And you can do round, you can do in completely different ways, different velocities. And it's a basic step on 3. It's completely, a jajão can be a basic step on 3 in a different way. You see, then there are several ways of doing. Is the way that you do, the way that you pass, how you pass the sequence is going to be boring or not.
There is a big difference between doing the basics or dancing the basics. And of course, at the beginning, the students, they need combinations. They need fast food in a way that they can reproduce immediately something. So the process is continuous. Learn the rules, master the rules in a way that you can break the rules. And you need to be the first one, like Paula was saying, to be enthusiastic about the basics. You need to be the one that you will go to social and you also do basics in different ways. My dancing socially, it's like advanced basics. Okay? It's what I like to call it. Muita força, Filipe, para o projeto, entretanto, que ele estava ali a dizer. És uma fofinha, Leonor. Beijinho, obrigado. So, this was the question of Paula Loureiro. Paula Loureiro, I hope that you like the answer of Paula Loureiro, ALC.
And Ricardo also.
And Ricardo also. Good. I think we are getting to the end. This was the topics of today. Every Saturday, we'll be here, 11:57, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. During the week, we will open for questions in our stories, in the Instagram stories. Go there, ask them. We are here to serve you, okay? And the best way that you have to support us, if you like the content that we are sharing, is to help others and to share this content with the others, okay? To deliver completely for free, because we want to support, mainly now in these difficult times. And if you want to have like level 2 of supporting us, you can attend our online lessons. We are weekly at the ALC Kizomba and Semba Academy. It's a platform where you can learn lady styling with Paula, men styling with me. Important also to understand that it's not basic stuff only directed to Kizomba. We are already teaching these lessons online since February, or since April last year. So it's like 11 months. It's entering already 1 year. Every week, every Thursday with Paula and every Friday with me. And the students are constantly receiving different material. And the good thing is that all these lessons are recorded and they are at the platform. So when you enter as a student to the ALC Kizomba and Semba Academy, you'll be able to watch live and do live in Zoom in a way that we can give you direct feedback, the lessons weekly, but you can access also all the previous lessons with all the content and all the techniques. And we give knowledge and material inside of general movement, like some ballet concepts, Afro house, techniques of body isolation, combinations more choreographic, isolation of the movement to left and right. So a lot of different subtopics inside of what the ladies can work and what the leaders can work also. And this is there. Also, each month we have 2 or 3 more different lessons, usually in couple, with the topics more important. And we have here a question now from Philippe. Choose one, dancing basics forever, or 2, or amazing steps, even basics, but some lacks on musicality. For me, definitely 1.
For me also.
But some lacks on musicality. Musicality is the most important thing, even when you are just doing the basics.
There's music. That's why there's music.
So it's the difference between doing steps and dancing steps. To dance steps, you need to be musical. And sometimes it's just a simple move of walking forward that will allow you to look beautiful. And you do the same movement, but without the musicality, without being connected with the music, and it will be nothing. Okay? It's a pity that, but it's a process. I believe that is a process. A lot of people, you watch them dancing on social, and I have really the understanding, and sorry about that, but this happened a lot with Urban Keys because it's very directed to combinations. When you have good dancers, of course not. In Kizomba is the same. But in Urban Keys happen more often because the learning is very directed to the steps.
Combination.
Generally, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking generally. A lot of people teach like that still. So what I watch is that if I turn off the music or I change the music, the person will keep dancing exactly the same thing in the same way. And this should not happen. The same step, the same combination can have a lot of different approach of movement depending on the person that you are dancing with, depending on the music that is playing, and depending on the environment that you are. 3 things very important to adapt the step and the combination that you do. Person, and the person is related to heights, sizes, technique, energy. 2, the music that is playing. And 3, the environment. If you are in a club, if you are in an open air space, if you are in a crowded dance floor, if you are alone on the dance floor, if you are on a stage, if you are recording a video to demonstrate something. So the same step will have a lot of different techniques depending on these 3 topics. And there is a 4th one in social, that is the amount of alcohol on the blood. Sometimes it's just releasing the possibilities. I'm joking. No good drinking and dancing. Or yes, it depends.
You need to support the bar.
Of course. And it's a good thing comparing salsa with Kizomba.
Yeah, and without exaggerating, of course.
Till the point just to be cool, not to be wasted. Okay? So that's it for today. Next Saturday we'll be here. Mondays we have KTT Talks, where we talk with students from the KTT or teachers from the scene that are known, that never made the KTT with us, but most of the KTT Talks are with KTT students. And every Wednesday, we teach a free lesson of specific topics. Last one was about Kizomba Basics. We are still thinking about what to do next Wednesday. If you have suggestions, send us a private message.
Yeah, it will be very nice.
Very honored to receive your suggestion and to apply it. Okay? Take a look to our webpage.
Happy Easter for you too, also to India.
I'm so happy and so proud of myself because I made a webpage in WordPress without any kind of knowledge. I never made nothing like that. So between tutorials and trainings, it's not perfect. It's still missing a lot of things, but paularicardoalc.com. Go there, take a look. You have a lot of videos. You have some of the lessons that we share. The blog is still under construction, but support us because we are proud. We are proud. It is really not our field, and it was a big achievement. Good.
Beijinhos, beijinhos. Larissa, happy Easter.
Thank you very much to all of you.
Besitos para Marbella, España.
We are very blessed by having your time, because time is the biggest asset we can deliver to someone. And thank you for being here with us. Okay? Beijinho, beijinho.
Beijinhos.
See you tomorrow or after tomorrow. Great Easter for you and all your family.